Professor Coomer here, talking about thesis statements for Essay 2. Essay 2 is our response essay, so thesis statement is going to be different for this essay than it was for the last essay. And that is because we are not making an argument of our own, we are responding to someone else's argument. So it's going to be different. So instead of saying, like, Vincennes University should build a water park, like I said back then, instead, I would say, we've got to remember the topic. The actual focus of this essay is the article that you're responding to. So my thesis statement might go something like this. Maybe I might say, Tara Jones's article. Okay, so now I'm starting off, my topic is the article. It's not what she was trying to write about. Maybe she was writing about the environment, or maybe she was writing about cigarette smoking or healthcare or whatever. Whatever it is she's writing about, that's secondary. Your focus is her article, not her topic. Okay, that's where this can be a little tricky at first. So really try to focus on that. Tara Jones's article, and then I'm going to give the name of her article. Okay. So whatever the name of the article, you're going to give that, and it's going to be in quotation marks, okay, because we're using MLA format. So Sarah Jones's article, maybe whatever the name is, and then in those quotation marks, we're going to have a comma, okay? And then I'm going to say something about her article. And I'm going to be, since this is a response essay, I need to give my opinion on that essay. And I might say this, I might say, Sarah Jones's article, whatever the name is, makes many good points about why we'll say Vincennes University needs a water park. And then I'm going to have a second part, and maybe I think it's just all great. If I think it's all great, maybe I might say, and her argument is very effective, or maybe I might say, and her argument should be heard by the Vincennes University administration. Maybe I might say, and her arguments will be well received by her target audience. Okay, I'm going to say something about her argument. But in this case, maybe I might say something, maybe she makes many good points, but then there were some things I really didn't agree with. Maybe there were some things I felt she needed to explain better. So I might say this: Sarah Jones's article, whatever the name of the article is, makes many good points about why Vincennes University needs a water park, but she fails to mention many of the problems such a proposal might cause. Okay, so this is more of a complex thesis statement than we've had in the first essay. This is a little bit more complex because I read the article. Yeah, she makes a lot of good points, but you know what? She didn't bring up a lot of things that I felt like she should have brought up. And so I'm saying, yeah, she makes some good points, and I'll probably bring that up. I'm definitely going to bring that up. I'm going to have to because I've mentioned it in my thesis statement. I'm going to bring up some of the good points that she makes for building a water park, okay, in her article. But I'm also going to bring up, she didn't mention how much it would cost to build such a structure. She didn't mention the safety hazard that it may cause to the university. So things that I thought up myself that I felt like, they probably should have been in this article, I'm going to bring that up and say she really should have mentioned this, and this is why she should have mentioned it whenever it gets to the part where I'm writing my essay. So when it comes to writing your thesis statement, remember, you are writing about the article, not about Like, for instance, I'm not writing about water parks. I'm writing about her argument. I'm writing about the article she wrote about water parks, okay? Yeah, I'm going to discuss things that are pertinent to that discussion. So for instance, if you're responding to an article about the environment, yeah, you're going to talk about the environment in that essay. But your argument is not going to be about what people should do about the environment. Your argument is going to be about this article that I read. They made these points. These points I agree with. These points were good. This is why I agree with them. This is why they were good. Or, some of the points were not as good. This is why they were not as good. This is why I don't agree with those points. You're going to talk about those points, not new ideas that you have on your own. You're not making your own argument here. You're responding to someone else's argument. Okay? So when you write your thesis statement, remember, it is required that the name of the author is in your thesis statement. It is also required that the name of the article is in your thesis statement. You have to have those, or else you're not writing an argument about the actual essay. You're just writing something that's unclear. And remember, we have to be really clear in our thesis statements. So you're going to respond to this article. In your argument or in your thesis statement, you have to specifically say this person's article, which is called this, and then you're going to say something about it. And it's going to be something that is not factual. Or not, and by that I mean it's not just like it's 2 pages long, or it talks about the environment. And it can't be something that's so basic that it's ridiculous. Like, you wouldn't say, Tara Jones's article, why we shouldn't smoke cigarettes, gives many good points why we shouldn't smoke cigarettes. It's technically it is a thesis statement, but I'm going to ask you to really try to think a little harder. Why are those good points? What audience? If it's a good point, why is it a good point? Is it speaking to the audience well? Does the author bring up many good points because they would resonate with a specific audience that needs to hear that message? So I'm asking you to think harder. I'm asking you to work a little bit harder and to really think, okay, what can I say about this article? How can I respond in an intelligent way, in a scholarly way? Do well on this one because the next essay builds on this concept. All right? So get thinking.